dedicated group of activists, but I'm sad that we have to meet here again to mark one more year of injustice at Guantánamo. It's important to remember that when we celebrate Mr. al-Shamrani's return to Saudi Arabia, that he has had over a decade of his life stolen away from him. While transfers are a positive step, they're not happening fast enough, and there are dozens more who wait for their release. It is inexcusable that Guantánamo enters its 15th year of operation today, that 103 men remain detained. The overwhelming majority have never and will never be charged with a crime. That 44 men cleared for release by every agency with a stake in national security, including the Department of Defense, remain in prison. One of those men is CCR client Tariq Baouda, a young Yemeni who has been at Guantánamo for more than a third of his life, despite being cleared for release in 2009. Tariq is holding on to the only way he has of reflecting back what Guantánamo has done to him and others. Next month will mark 9 years that Tariq has been on a hunger strike, peacefully protesting his unjust and continued detention. Tariq is now just 74 pounds. 74 pounds, 56% of his ideal body weight. Through media reports, we know that Tariq's case was discussed at the highest levels of government, and we also know that they chose the wrong course. If the administration can't work together to free a gravely ill man who was cleared for release, how could it possibly close Guantánamo? It is not enough for President Obama to say he tried, but that obstacles prevented him from achieving his goal. If the president really wants to reduce the prison population and close Guantánamo, he must bring his full weight and authority to the task. He is the commander-in-chief, after all. A recent Reuters report highlights just how far the Pentagon has gone to derail Obama's closure efforts. In what other context do you have a cabinet openly defying the president's policy objectives? Obama must ensure an end to DoD insubordination and bureaucratic inaction. Obama's Department of Justice should stop opposing habeas petitions of cleared men like Tariq Baouda in federal court. Doing so would allow for court-ordered release, which would exempt these men from legislative restrictions and expedite their release home or to a third country. There are real choices in front of President Obama today. He must take swift and meaningful action forward. This is his last chance to stand up to political opposition and choose the right course. So today, as we mark 14 years of injustice at Guantánamo, we also mark our renewed commitment to hold Obama accountable and his successor if we have to. So I will end with a short quote from Tariq Baouda, which I hope speaks to all of us and the work that so many of us continue to do. Freedom should be much more precious for the human being than all the desires on earth, and we should never give it up regardless of how expensive the price may be. Thank you.